Just waiting for Instagram to go live. Hello, hello, everyone. Okay, we are there.
Yay.
Awesome. Hello.
Hello, Ajarae.
This is one of my favorite aspects of hosting the Gifts for Actors giveaway. It is having the chance to sit down with the contributors who are giving away these amazing resources and actually talk shop about what they're bringing to this year's gathering and also the work that they do and how it relates to what we do as actors. So today, I'm very excited to introduce you to Jamey Hood. Jamey has performed on stages all over the world for decades, nearly 30 years, which is a career that most of us as actors would just be like, done, check, framed, on the wall, thank you. And the whole time she was doing it, she was carrying what she calls a near-crippling lack of confidence. And so we're going to really get into that. But in 2013, she learned a meditation technique that changed her entire approach to preparation and performance and the acting business itself. And now she helps other performers like me develop what she calls authentic confidence through workshops and mentoring and teaching meditation. So the gift that Jamey contributed to the giveaway is her Authentic Confidence Workshop. We're going to talk more about that. This is a live Zoom session where she's going to teach us the practice that she uses to walk into high stakes rooms feeling like she belongs. And the talk that we're having today that I'm so psyched about is about her 4 pillars of success, which she frames around an idea that I think every actor needs to hear, that success is not actually defined by the outcome of any single interaction. So we're going to get into all of that now. Jamey, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you, Ajarae, and thank you for organizing this wonderful opportunity. I have never been a part of anything like this before, and I'm just in awe of what everyone's doing and what you're doing. So I really hope that people snatch up these wonderful gifts. It's rad. So thank you.
Totally. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And I agree. And I have found myself even procrastinating on getting the gifts. I'm like hosting the giveaway, and there are so many gifts that I personally want as an actor, and I haven't done it yet. So that just shows you how easy it is to allow this, because there's so much abundance. It's easy to allow it to pass you by almost in a weird way. So don't be like me. Register for the giveaway, but don't just register. Actually claim the gifts that you want and use them. Attend the workshop, use the gifts. So that's it.
I love the language you're using. You know, I talk a lot about abundance, and I love the word claim. I think that claim is a really strong verb that we're not accustomed to actioning. And I think that is a piece in our approach to this whole business, that if we would simply claim the space we're in without neediness, without an overbearing, performed confidence, but naturally, simply, sweetly, just claim your space. It makes all the difference in the world.
Totally. I love what you're saying about naturally, sweetly. Like, it doesn't have to feel like a big grasping, but it can be just, I claim this. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's the way it is. And so I think part of what happens is, you know, if we're not accustomed yet to claiming our space, that will come. It will come with confidence born out of experience. But what I've noticed over the years, from the time that I was performing and having that crippling lack of self-confidence, but performing anyway, it's like you wouldn't know it per se, but it was costing me a lot to show up to anything, auditions, rehearsals, performance. It was costing me a lot. And in my early days, I felt like I was quite a burden on now looking back, I was quite a burden on my cohort, my co-actors, because I couldn't just do my job. Then I had to get validation from them. Was that okay? Did I do okay? because
Right.
maybe the audience didn't give me what I was looking for. And so then I had to look for it externally. And they're
Mm,
trying to do their job. They're
that's
wondering
right.
if they did okay. And,
Yep.
so
Yep.
you're listening, old friends. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Thank you
Covered.
and sorry.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie, I think this brings up something that I see a lot with actors who are, because you were working and you were having this, right? So when actors aren't working as much as they'd like to, oftentimes it's because they're walking into auditions, or even the energy that they're bringing into self tapes is, please take care of me, please validate me, please, right? And that is challenging to work with. Would you rather work with an actor who is going to take care of what they're doing, or someone that you have to take care of? I mean, the answer is clear.
Oh, yeah, it's clear. And I've had the privilege of being on both sides of the casting table. And being on if you have the opportunity to get on the other side of a casting table for anything, I don't care what it is, your community
Yes.
theater, just do it, because you will see behaviors that, with compassion, of course, but you're going to see the desperation sometimes walk into the room. And then you're going to compare that to someone else who walks in the room and has their space claimed and knows that they've got something to offer and isn't bringing their neediness into the room.
Yes.
They're
That's right.
bringing their offering, and it's either you take it or you don't, and it's not going to make or break them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so observing this is, and also observing myself in the whole practice, once I learned to meditate and got some clarity and stability in place, um,
Yeah.
it was that, oh, I have been defining my success externally. How was the response? Did I get a call back? Did my agent get me the audition? Did I book it? And then once I booked it, did I get good reviews? Oh my God. Hey,
It
Ajarae,
never
I
ends.
gave, I gave all my power away,
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so if in this short time that we're together today, I can offer you and your listeners and our listeners anything, it's that it is not an external. We cannot measure success by something external. When we do that, we're harming ourselves, and we're taking away, we're robbing ourselves of the opportunity to do this work with some stability in place, so that we're not going to burn out and, dissolve into our own self ruin.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. The stakes are actually quite high here, right?
Mhm.
I mean, because you can have a career that from the outside, like you said, no one knew. No one knew. So everyone looks at you and you're working and you're doing all these cool things and they're like, oh, wow, Jamie, she's got it going on. And in the meantime, you're having quite a negative time at times, and it's just, what kind of experience do we want to have? So I want to dive into a little bit of what that moment, well, I won't even call it a moment because I'm sure it was more of a process, but in 2013, learning to meditate and kind of what changed for you. How did you switch from external to a more internally located source of your validation?
Right. So learning the practice itself is an inward going experience. So I was
Right.
spending 20 minutes twice a day going inward and really not doing much of anything. It's not like I was going inward and thinking like, you're great, you're okay. It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
But I was spending time internally, and I sort of, in so doing, transcended my identity and everything that was dear to me and everything that I thought that I was, and experienced myself as just simply being. And having that experience 20 minutes twice a day and then bringing that out into the world, it just clicked. It was like, oh, I don't have to look out here to experience that blissful being.
Mm.
I find it here. And then what happened was it really awakened my own self-awareness. I became very self-aware, not self-conscious. I had plenty of that going on before. It wasn't me feeling self-conscious. It was
Yeah.
me going, oh, this is what I'm bringing to the table. And it's actually good enough.
Yeah.
And I don't have to measure it by external. Did I book it? Did I get a call back? Were the reviews good? And that was a huge relief when I could let all of that go
Right.
and really rely on myself. I walked into the room self-reliant, and it wasn't until years later when an actress asked me why I was so calm in the waiting room. Like, she actually pegged
Oh, I
me.
love this story. Yes.
She walked right up to me and she's like, "Excuse me." You know, and there are people in the room who are literally standing at a wall practicing their monologues, like, or practicing their sides. And I'm like, oh, I'm just sitting there like feeling pretty good, feeling happy to get to share what I've prepared. And she asked me, "Why are you so calm?" And it just opened a whole world for me as how I can be helpful to fellow actors. And, of course, I can't be like, "Well, learn to meditate. Bye. Have a good audition." It's like, yes, learn to meditate if that feels relevant to you. I fully endorse that. But really, what can you do in the interim? What can you do in the meantime? And so that's how I developed the 99.9% technique that I'm going to teach you in my
Yay.
confidence workshop. But today, this is just a little nibble to say success is no longer defined by booking it. Let that go. Let it go. And now take ownership of what you can contribute and what you can. I'm hesitant to use the word control, but I'm going to say what is in your capacity to
Right.
offer. And so
Yes.
these 4 pillars are so obvious. You're going to be like, how come I never thought of that? So you want to
I
hear
love
them?
it. Let's get into it. Yeah, let's do it. Now I'm dying.
Can you show up in the room or in any interaction friendly? And just what we talked about before, it's so simple. It's like, if I'm bringing my neediness to a situation, that's not friendly.
Yeah.
I was not friendly to my co-actors when I would leave the stage after my piercing solo and be like, "Was that okay?" And they're trying to enter. That was not friendly.
Right.
So friendly has a patina of compassion on it. Friendly means I'm also concerned with your experience. I have ownership over my experience, and I'm aware of how my experience impacts you.
Yes.
Let me be friendly.
Mm.
And it's a practice.
It is, because when I think about when it's kind of easiest for me to be friendly or when it just comes naturally, it's like all of my needs are taken care of. I'm not running from one thing to the next. I'm not, it is so simple, but my days are so much better. And I know the days of everyone else is better when I'm walking through the world in a friendly manner.
Yeah. And so you bring up a good point. It's like, okay, if friendliness is the only thing you bring into the room, that's better than neediness. So good job. But let's see how these other pillars, it's like you pull on one leg of the chair, the other 3 legs of the chair are going to come along. But wouldn't it be nice if they were just all there for you? And so talk about prepared. Are you prepared? And here's the thing, and this is maybe it's tough love. I don't know what it is. You decide.
This is the most sweet, tough love I've ever gotten. So keep going.
Good.
We love this.
Are you prepared? I mean, really. And I'm not saying prepared in that insane way where you're like, I'm going to keep saying my lines until they call my name into the room. It's like, no. Be prepared before you get into that space. And do you trust yourself? Can you say, I did everything I can to get this to a place that I feel good about? But if you didn't, if you were like, oh, I'll look at it later. I'll look at my sides later. Maybe you're not prepared as much as you'd like to be. And if you're not prepared as much as you like to be, hard to become friendly.
That's right. Yep. And we can be really honest with ourselves about this too, right? It's when you're ready and you're actually prepared versus when you are just kind of phoning it in.
Yes. Yeah. Because then what happens, I think, and this is me talking from my own experience, is
Yeah,
that when I phone it in, I find things outside of myself to blame.
of course. Yeah,
And it's like,
absolutely.
look, I had time to prepare. And and there's a diminishing returns. There's over prepared. And that
Right.
shows if you're working so hard that you're over prepared, that shows that you're not trusting yourself. And guess what? Friendliness can extend to yourself too.
Mm,
Are you being
yes.
friendly with yourself? Come on, what's prepared enough? Let's find, because I know your audience is going to have the people who are over prepared, so over prepared that they kind of lose sleep over it and kind of enter the room like, I'm so prepared. Right? And
Right.
then there are people who are underprepared who are like, well, it's my roommate's fault. They didn't do the dishes. And you're like,
And
no,
neither
that's
of
not.
those are friendly,
Yeah.
which takes us back to pillar number one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think you get the idea. And of course, it's a nuanced thing. And can you be friendly with yourself while you're developing these skills and really while you're shifting how you think about success? Because that's really what we're doing here. To me, success means I showed up in the room with at least one, better two, even better three, or all four pillars. I've shown up in the room, and that is the success, whether I book the job or not, because
Yes.
I showed up for myself and I made a solid offering. That's success.
That becomes the rubric instead of the external thing. I love that.
And then when you get a call back, when you get the job, when you get a good review or any review, really, we can talk about that another time. They thought enough to mention me. Great. That's success. This is success. So our next pillar is adaptable. What happens
Adaptable.
when they hand you different sides when you walk in and they say, we just cast the role you're being seen for. Will you read for this one instead? It
Do
happens.
you freak out or are you like, great, let's do it?
Yeah, that's the way we want to be. Great, let's do it. Because think of it this way. They know they just handed you sides out of nowhere.
That's right. Yeah.
The playing field is level.
Yep.
How much time are they going to give you? 30 seconds, 2 minutes? So play. This is an opportunity to play. And even if you suck at cold reads, even if, you're like, well, that could have gone better. If you're friendly and you walked in prepared, and then you're adaptable and playful, those things go together.
Yes.
People will love you. And I'm not just saying that. I've been on the other side of the table. I've thrown the curveball. I've been like, oh, can you read this instead? And there are some people who are so rigidly attached to the work that they prepared that they can't let themselves play.
Mm.
And I don't know about you, Ajarae. I come from the live stage performance world, but I think, one, it's called a play for a reason. Play. But then also that has to extend to the work that you do on camera.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I feel like I'm playing make believe all the time.
Play. Even when it's
Yeah.
especially when it's a dramatic role. Oh my God, what could be
Yes.
more fun? Playing.
Yeah.
See how
And
far
I
you
love, when people do. So first of all, I see it as a gift, right? When those things happen, they're not blowing smoke and having you read something that is already cast, right? There's something they see in you where they want to have the opportunity to work with you. And so they're giving you this new opportunity, And so, my goodness, this is a chance to use whatever preparation applies that you've already done and just like run with it and be free. And, it's almost like a freeing feeling,
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, it can be. I did the ABC Diversity Showcase a while ago, and part of the process is like a mix and match process where for like the third round of auditions, they bring you in and they give you sides and they give you a partner, and it's like, you're up in 5 minutes, go. And it's just like, whoa. But it was so much fun, right?
Yes.
As long as we weren't like, oh God, what if I don't get this? So I really
Yeah.
love this adaptable pillar. I think it's so applicable to everything that we do as actors and performers.
Yeah. And especially even if it's not new sides, but like they're not digging your take. It wasn't, they see something in
Yes.
you, but they're like, ooh, that wasn't quite what we were looking for. Can you do it again? But like this, and you're like, but that's not what I prepared. They might like you a lot, but it's like, okay, well, next.
Yeah. You can't
No,
do that on set or in rehearsal or whatever. Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
right. And so developing a spirit of adaptability. And, one of the ways we do that is by letting go. I'm going to take it back to meditation. What a great place to practice letting go, right? But if you don't have a meditation practice in place and you see yourself clinging, even the way you hold the sides, if you're clinging and you notice it, hold it lightly. Just hold it lightly. I don't care if I see the paper shaking. I would rather see the paper shake than someone going like this.
Yeah.
So adaptability is about self-observation.
Mm.
Can I see myself playing? How am I doing? Am I clenching? Am I rigid? Or am I playful and adaptable? Can I see this whole room as a sandbox? And even if you feel like you tried what they said, but you're like, yeah, I don't think I did what you asked, but I'm willing to try again. And they're like, no, that's okay. You're still winning.
Yes.
That is a success because you showed them you're playful and you're not taking yourself so seriously.
Yes.
But a caution that has to come from an authentic place. They will
Yeah. Talk
know.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this is things I learned on the other side of the table too. It's like you can tell when someone is defaulting to performance. So let me perform, crash and burn for you because that's what I feel like I did, rather than the authentic, like, that was kind of a crash and burn, but I'm willing to try again. One is authentic and one is performative. And this goes back to friendliness. Think about being with a group of friends. And, if you see a friend performing something, don't you just kind of want to be like,
Yeah.
come on, relax.
Just stop. Let's be real here. Yeah. 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 Like, let me get in there. Let me really get in there. So you feel like there's a wall, there's a separation there.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And, the work we do is vulnerable.
Very, yeah.
And, if we can allow ourselves to be in the sandbox and to let the wall down and to be authentic. And so even if you're nervous, which is okay, I see nervous people walk into the room, and that's something that'll go away with experience. We hope. And if it's not, you need a good coach like Ajarae, because nervousness means there's some self-doubt there, or your pillars aren't in place, or you're giving them too much power. Just giving the other side of the table too much power. This goes to our fourth pillar, professional. I am a professional. Whatever amount of money you're offering me to play this role, I deserve. I don't have to beg for it. I don't have to perform outside of my performance for it. The more real I can be in that room and say, I'm here to meet you. I mean, yes, I respect you. I respect your experience, of course. But you're not up here and me down here, a lowly begging, please, please let me have this job. The fact that I'm in the room means I'm hireable. I'm worth this paycheck and this exchange of energy. How professional are you in the room? We are not professional if we're begging. And we're not professional if we're not prepared.
Mm. Yeah. I love how they all kind of go together. They're
Yeah.
so intertwined. One really leads to the, it is so, yeah, it's a beautiful framework. And you're right, it's so simple, but if we can just build on these four things, it's everything. It really
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
And like I said, even if, and so the measure of success then for you is, can I walk out of this room and get back into my car? And before I, press the ignition, can I say, was I at least one of those things?
Mm.
And if
Right.
I was, success.
I did it.
Move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's next? And either they call or they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have to torture ourselves.
Which brings back to my mind what you were saying about self-observation. I think that there has to be some sort of ability to be honest with yourself about what happened there in the room or in the interaction or whatever. How do you recommend people kind of cultivate that ability?
Yeah, well, of course, I'm always going to say learn to meditate. But until you do, just check yourself before you wreck yourself. It's like a wise rishi says, ice cube.
He is a pretty wise rishi, in my opinion. Yeah.
Oh, very wise. So chickadee check yourself before you wreck yourself. And so get in the habit of really being honest with yourself. And, I think of our 4 pillars, it starts with friendliness.
Yeah.
And the more friendly you are with yourself, the more you start to view yourself as a friend. Are you a friend I can trust? Are you a friend who's going to put the work in so that I don't embarrass myself in that room? And as you start to develop that friendship with yourself, there's a little bit of a thing that happens where there's the you that you usually bring into the room. And then there's this other you. Who's that other you? Who's that you who's observing and being friendly to this you?
Yeah.
This is how you wake up self-awareness. And trust me, as someone who's been on the other side of the casting table too, self-awareness is huge. I'd rather go with someone who's self-aware and maybe has a little less talent, but we can work with it, than someone who's blowing me away with their talent, but is a neurotic mess.
Right.
Do yourself the favor of developing these 4 pillars, and then come to my authentic confidence workshop, and I'll tell you how to lower the stakes, because that's the thing. We're treating everything like life or death, and it doesn't have to be like that.
Totally. Yeah. Our nervous systems are so good at protecting us, and there are not as many things that we need to be protected from nowadays, really, right? I'm not out there picking my food and running from animals, but sometimes I feel like I am.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's stress in the nervous system. And, you are an amazingly calm and stable person. And,
that's years of that same meditation technique.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But the thing is that doesn't mean that we don't sometimes feel the stress, but how we respond or how quickly we recover from stress is a huge game changer.
Yeah. For those people who are watching and are curious, can you talk a little bit about the meditation that you're referring to, since there are lots of different kinds of meditation out there?
Yeah. So I specifically teach Vedic meditation. And Vedic meditation is a mantra-based mental technique where, you come to my studio here, my meditation studio, and I give you a mantra, which is a Sanskrit sound. It has no meaning in any language. It's a sound. And the quality of that sound, when picked up with the eyes closed in the surface layer. You're going to close the eyes. You're going to pick up that sound, and it's going to draw your mind downward towards more subtle layers of thinking. And you may even have the experience of no thinking. And so just for anyone listening, just imagine for a moment, here you may have tried other meditations where you're like, okay, I'm not supposed to be thinking, but that's thinking. And, you get in this weird, like, okay, well, I just listened to myself think for 10 minutes and that was not fun. I'm not saying that there are no thoughts inside of this kind of meditation, but just by virtue of your surface layer thinking being charmed down to more subtle layers, it gives the body an opportunity to rest and repair. And so even if you're having thoughts inside of meditation, you're still having a successful meditation. There's that word successful again. It's not measured by how you are doing inside of meditation. It's not measured by how many thoughts you had or didn't have. It's measured by, did you do the practice as simply and effortlessly as possible? Success. That's it. Very simple. It's taught over 4 days, live and in person. What a concept in this day and age when we're on screens all the time. So I teach in Los Angeles, New York, and actually teach all over the world, but those are my 2 main places that I teach. And takes 4 days in a row for about 90 minutes a day. And by the end, you're self-sufficient and can start to develop this beautiful self-awareness and stability, clarity, calm. You bring that into the room, tired.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Beautiful. I want to make sure that everyone understands kind of what this authentic confidence workshop is and who it's for. So it's a live Zoom workshop on June 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Perfect. It's going to run for an hour. Does that include the Q&A, or is that plus the Q&A will be after?
That includes the Q&A. So my teaching style, when I have a group of people, and we've got, quite a few people already signed up. So the more the better. And if you can come live, I'm interactive. I teach by pulling out your own wisdom. That is my special skill. And so bring your vulnerability, bring your honesty, and let me pull on the strings of what you already know to be true. And then when you watch someone else doing that, it's going to awaken in you what we're talking about here. And so I will teach you a very quick technique. It is not the meditation technique I just described. It is a different technique that you can practice in audition waiting rooms. It was really born out of that woman who came to me and said, "Why are you so calm?" And I really thought about it, and I figured it out. And I came up with a formula that is like, do this. Ultimately, yes, learn to meditate. That is going to be really helpful. But this little technique is using consciousness to apply some very subtle. I'm going to try not to give it away. I'm being cryptic on purpose.
Yes, we love that.
But it is a technique, and you can use it in waiting rooms. You can use it anytime you're feeling like the stakes are too high.
Yes.
It is a stake lowering technique, and it's using
for a pitch, right? So it's for actors, but it's also for anyone who is in high pressure situations, high stakes rooms, right?
That's right. So you don't even have to be an actor per se. That's just the world that I came from. But yes, if you're pitching, even if you are, a public speaker in any realm, and you feel the nerves, and you're like, I want to feel more calm before even a job interview. That's not an acting job interview. If you're about to do something and you feel like the stakes are really high, this technique can help you. It can help ground you in some reality that will help you then enter the room with those 4 pillars of success we already talked about.
Beautiful. So do not miss this workshop. I will be there. I cannot wait. And you can grab this and 16 other gifts from Industry Pros, me, Jamey, and there are 14 others of us. at giftsforactors.com. Register. You'll be directed to an access page where you'll find Jamey's gifts, and so you'll register for that workshop. Okay. What's the last thing I wanted to say? I wanted to say, gosh, I wanted to ask, where can people find you outside of this? What's the best way to stay connected with your work, Jamey?
Yes, Instagram. I'm getting better at Instagram. So follow me on Instagram is a great way. And then sign up for my newsletter. You'll see it's very much meditation world, is this the main thrust of my newsletter. But, because I come from the acting world, it's always going to be relevant to you. And I'm always speaking to what is the collective experiencing. Let's see if we can offer some salve for the collective.
Love that. Awesome. So get on that list, and we'll see you in the workshop.
All right.
Jamey,
Thanks,
thank you so much. This is wonderful.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.